Hey, hi, how are you? My name's Felt. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena, and today we're not a co-op. This is a Departed reference. For those of you who don't understand what the fuck I'm referencing, that's totally fine. But Baral Chief of Compliance is absolutely a cop. He has instants and sorcery spells you cast cost one less to cast. Whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. You get lots of counter spell value in this deck. Like, I mean, if I just say counter spell and, well, all of these are counter spells, all of these are counter spells, all of these are counter spells, and that's a counter spell too. That's a lot of counter spells. This is because of the ultimate. This is because it says counters and spells. Ignore them. Jin also gets to counter spells for you. He's cool. I'm actually a little light on the counter spells for a Baral deck. On average, most Baral decks will just be flooding out in terms of counter magic because it's just a really efficient and easy way to play them. I felt like playing a handful more win cons and a handful more ways of getting victories. Stuff like Teferi's Ageless Insight to synergize very well with all of the card draw effects we have, including Baral's themselves. We don't have a ton of creatures. Our really big win cons include stuff like Hullbreaker Horror, Shark Typhoon, as just beaters and ways to bounce stuff. We do run some ways of stealing our opponent's win cons with stuff like Invoke the Winds and then Blue Sun's Twilight. And this is a reminder that Baral's ability just says instants and sorceries cost one less to cast, meaning that instants and sorceries cost one less to cast, not just counter spells. So any and all spells you have will cost one less to cast. Any X spells can be cast for one cheaper, like Multiple Choice, one of my favorite cards from Standard a bit ago, because it has just like so much flexibility in what it can do. On top of that, you can, in place of having to pay 5 mana to get all those effects, you get to pay 4 mana to play all those effects with Brawl. Overall, I think it's a super fun card. I do think you're going to get a lot of insta-scoops or a lot of rage players because of just Brawl plays a lot of counter spells. It's what he's really good at, and you shouldn't be surprised if people are unhappy with you for doing that. You will get put up in a higher place in the Q1 average because Brawl has a really high win rate because a lot of people don't like playing against him, so you get a lot of scoops. I've run into decks like Kinnan semi-often, and Kinnan is a well-known commander for being one of the high-tier commanders of this day and age. So don't be surprised if you run into stuff like that yourself. This has been your warning, but enough of this intro spiel. Let's hop right into some gameplay. Opponent goes first. We have a very keepable hand, Spell Pierce, Mastermind, Vandal, all great stuff. Including a Demolition Field, which can be really useful into Bolas because they do need lots of multicolored lands being a tricolor deck. I don't think I'll be able to, like... Why are they playing Jadar? That literally makes no sense, in my opinion. But hey, I'm not them. Flash out Fairy Mastermind so that I get free card draws. Thanks, bud. Oh, what a draw off the top. Mein Gott. Yeah, I think this is a play demo field. Spicy. Play demo field, play Fairy Vandal. Make sure I tap the demo field for it so that I can hold up we're gonna main phase this. Just cuz. Now this is unfortunately a creature, so Spell Pierce does not hit it. Which is one of the reasons why I haven't bothered to play a Baral yet. But we are keeping ourselves nice and safe with a Spell Pierce. My opponent really thinks I have up a Wash Away. You can tell from the way that they are. 2 damage a turn ain't exactly damning. Interesting. I could have let them stay tapped down there, but... don't think it's that worthwhile. I really want to be able to slam my Ageless Insight here, but it's not looking like it's going well. Taking 2 damage a turn ain't the end of the world. My opponent is really scared. It's really funny. My opponent is incredibly scared of this Fairy Vandal, Fairy Mastermind combo. Okay. This could possibly work out eventually, but I ain't holding my breath. What the fuck? I am shocked to see Draconic Intervention played. This card is just like never touched. But I guess when you're Nicol Bolas and you're a little baby... May as well just play the Ageless Insight. No reason not to. Change the equation and negate will hopefully let me survive long enough for this to go well for myself. Cheap removal spells, change the equation, hits them, otherwise I'll just negate whatever they play. Most likely. No. Hello. Bye-bye. We vibe. Okay. Can I flip this? I don't have the mana, do I? No, I need like red mana somehow. Stop trying to tap my sources that aren't. Oh man. Reality chip, I'm sorry, you can go. Do I think my opponent can have it? They get to draw a card, they get to trigger something again. I can trigger some nonsense, if I so choose. Maybe I'll get an Invoke the Winds here in a minute. That'd be cool. I will draw most of my deck with this Midnight Clock flip. By most, I mean 14 cards. That is a lot of my deck, though. Captain Lannery's Storm. They could have killed my Baral at this point, so I don't quite know why they're doing what they're doing. I can Otawara away the Niv Mizzet after this. That might be a good play. Just go ahead and take care of that. Stop trying to tap my sources that I need. I flip you. Under his owner's control. Okay. That's what I thought, but I thought I'd double check. We will hang out and vibe. We will Wizards retort most stuff that my opponent throws at me. I don't really think they want to, I guess they really do want to Niv. Alright, put some counters. And by put some counters, I mean I will draw 14 cards, I believe. I don't know if my opponent thought that one through. Alright, let's start with the simple one. Bounce Niv and take a turn. Did I play an island yet? Oh, lordy me. So many cards. Blue. Need to discard 6 cards. You can go, you can go, you can go, you can go. I really only need like a couple of lands here. 4, 5, 6, I guess. Ah, but Teferi is so good. I think I dropped all of my lands out of that, TBH, but it's fine.
No matter the time or place, I've got eyes everywhere.
I can play Haughty Jin here. I can't counterspell their Niv Mizzet Perun anyways, so I'm just kind of going for stuff here. Also, I can counter this, and it won't end my existence. My stuff will continue to grow, and I'll be able to swing in for most likely lethal after this. I need to actually throw some spells in the graveyard, don't I? Oh, Invoke the Winds, cool. Well, we win. To be fair, I think we have lethal on board even without Invoke the Winds. Oh, that's so much mana. I just realized that my replicating ring flipped. I'm glad I read this Nicol Bolas though. I gotta remember, transformed under his owner's control. That's rough. But yeah, stealing Nicol Bolas. That was a cool play, wasn't it? Baral, he's totally not a cop. It's fine. Opponent's going first. I think we have to mull. Welcome to playing Baral. We are going first, playing into Joda the Unifier, so I'm feeling pretty good. Disdainful Stroke would be really good into Joda, be able to play it for super cheap. Maze Mind Tome and Snapcaster Mage would be nice as just general backups. May as well get the Foundry out of the way. We don't really need multi-blue mana. Cancel. Lovely! I think we're going to hold off on the Maze Mind Tome for another turn now because we drew the cancel. This is one of those cards that I don't really think we'll ever see play outside of like this very specific Baral deck. I guess it's kind of like Dissipate, but if Dissipate was bad, you know? Go ahead and slam this down so I can start profiting. Start scrying some good stuff to the top, perchance, or scrying bad stuff to the bottom. Is my opponent just gonna do nothing? Alright, sure, I'll just scry then. Cold Steel Heart. Mana ramp. Good. I will eventually need card draw, but Baral will supply. Baral will eventually supply. Technically, it's not card draw, it's card selection. They do not have the right colors of mana, like, at all. Opt is pretty okay, honestly. And now we just get to vibe and chill. And do a whole lot of sitting. I wonder what the fuck my opponent's actually playing. Key to the Archives. Get stroked. I clicked the wrong spell, and I'm vaguely embarrassed. Fun fact, we can flash in Snapcaster Mage to help with this. General, pass. My turn. Let's make sure we tap that. And then play you. This guy will continue to get bigger over time. Helps reduce my costs even more. Go ahead and draw a card. We're exiling it anyways. Brainstorm. Now that's a lovely card. Go ahead and play it. Put those back. We can play Jace because we can hold up Essence Scatter in case they try and play Baral. We can draw a card here. Slowly work towards lots of stuff. I'm shocked that my opponent is just playing so many basics. Kaya? Oh no!
I just want to get in, get out, and finish.
Are they just gonna take away my Jace? Kind of funny. I really feel like either one of my cost reducers might be a better play their opponent, but what do I know? You just full cost slammed a Kaya. We will go ahead and reconfigure onto the Jhin. We can't play that off the top, but we want to hold open more mana. Kill Kaya, bonk face.
Well, I guess I got in over my head.
Reality Chip is just a really useful card because it just allows you so much stuff. Shatter the Sky. No. And I believe I can just drop Shore Up, honestly. It makes my Jhin bigger anyways. And we're feeling pretty confident. We have a Sinister Sabotage, which we can play off the top. My opponent's scooping for some reason. I was just going to flash in Snapcaster Mage and use it to hit a Brainstorm. Either way, GG's. Our opponent goes first, playing Golos. We have... not a very good hand. We have a much better hand. I think we'll be able to get away with playing Cold Steel Hard on curve if my opponent doesn't have an instant mana ramp. Gee! I wonder what type of things my opponent could be holding up. Could it possibly be a Veil of Summer? Or perchance, I don't know, a Tamio's Safekeeping? We're ramping pretty hard in our colors, though. Okay. Yeah, I think we can play Baral here. That makes all of my counter magic much better. This does give them green mana, but I'm not exactly scared of it. I don't really want to let the Golos resolve, so I do really want to counter it. But they could be holding up a Pact of Negation. But I guess if they hold up a Pact of Negation, I steal Golos in response. Oh, okay. No! I don't want you to kill my thing. Thank you. Come again. Alright, yeah. And I think we will dump the Triskaidekaphile. But I'm not positive. I don't really want to drop their Triskaidekaphile, actually. I think I'll drop Invoke the Winds. I feel like that's much more worthwhile to drop here. Make sure we tapped that source. And now we have multiple counter spells. And now we have a card draw engine, even if it is incredibly expensive. Honestly, we're just going to hang out and do nothing. They have to make a move first. I think my opponent is scared. Which I'm okay with. Who cares? Yeah, because we still have a Spell Pierce. So we do still have a way to protect. We will continue to draw cards and throw it. There's no reason for us to swing in. We could slowly be getting in 1 damage at a time, but... opponent got a Triome out. Good for them. I wonder if I could win with Triskaidekaphile if the game goes on long enough. I possibly could. I got enough of an everything over here. I feel like my opponent is just waiting for a chance to play Golos with Counterspell backup, but I have so many spells that can counter Kennen. And I can counter... or, not Kennen. This isn't Kennen, this is Golos. Here comes the Veil of Summer. But I can counter Veil of Summer, so I don't really care. Oh, they just let it resolve. Okay. Oh, yeah, no reason to not dump an extra land here. Interesting that they just, like, held open the Zagath Triome. We'll decline this one. We like our hand. And they're out, so draw. Now we swing. No reason to bother to blow that up. They have all the other mana colors they need for it elsewhere. No real reason. What are my opponents planning? I may have just smacked my keyboard. God, I hope that didn't screw anything up. Man, my opponent is just like, I don't know what to do. Oh, we're racing? I win the race, though. I can make an extra Triskaidekaphile, I think. Can't I? I don't think that's super worth it, because this is like a multi-trigger thing. Like, I can activate it as many times as I want. Which is why I'm just like slamming it every turn that I can like hold open multiple counterspells. Which I can hold up multiple counterspells. I have Negate, and Wizard's Retort, and Urtai's Scorn, all ready to go at a moment's notice. With a million more well on the way. I think my opponent is slowly realizing that they need to start doing stuff. I really think that's what's happening. Fucking no. Thanks, though. Decline that trigger. That was a choice opponent. Maybe they just, like, don't have many counterspells over there, and they're like, oh god, what do I do? Yeah, we have Wash Away for Golos, not Kinnan. I've been playing a lot of Kinnan lately. Lots of the super top-end stuff. You have been washed away. Yeah, Golos, you've been washed away. That was a really good draw, to be fair. They had a really tough time of it. But GG's. Opponent goes first. Opponent is playing Essica, God of the Tree, and we are feeling quite comfy and confident with this hand. Make Disappear, as well as a Snapcaster Mage, means we don't have a ton to worry about, as well as ways to draw extra cards and ways to draw extra cards. One of which is Mana Ramp. Now, I'm thinking this is feeling like a Slam Baral on 2 matchup. Because a lot of Essica decks will try and just ramp so fast you can't keep up. And if we just play Baral early, we either disrupt their game plans, or just go so fast it doesn't matter. We can play Midnight Clock here. Man, my opponent's boring. Alright, well we do get to play Midnight Clock here and feel pretty happy about that. Or am I saying, man, my opponent's boring? Because Oracle of the Alpha is an absolutely ridiculous card that should not exist. You mean to tell me I play one card, add 9 cards to my deck, and all of them are as powerful as cards that are basically banned in most formats? Uh-huh. Smothering Tithe? I don't fucking think so. We will take that action. Yeah, we don't need the extra land right now, though. Unfortunately, we can't really get rid of this for quite a bit. Actually, we can get rid of it right now. Which isn't a bad play. Except it is. Go ahead and foretell that. Just make it cheaper. We can also snap in, flash in Snapcaster Mage to get back Make Disappear if we so choose. I really just want to land Teferi's Ageless Insight. Can't play the good side right now. That bodes well for me. I do not want them to get stuff for free here. By any stretch of the imagination. So I'm just going to hard stop this in its track. This card is insane. This is another one of those alchemy cards that I'm just like, oh, so you mean to tell me that you get a free land as well as a free card? I think Consuming Tide can go. And I think Ageless Insight will be played next. Yeah, it literally gives you a free land and then a free permanent in your hand. It is a tutor for 2, you just don't get to choose the end targets, which is a little wild, really. Ageless Insight means we now get to draw a billion cards all the time, and everything is hunky-dory. Especially when we counterspell stuff. Ginny G does not counter this, though, so we do need to be careful. We will be able to use this to seek a non-land card, another thing that is incredibly powerful. Oh, the Teferi. No! I'm being the problem child, don't mind me. I don't really need a Mind Stone right now. They still don't have their stuff. This is just one of those. I'm just really trying to eventually find my way into what I need. I'm really hoping this is a counterspell. It is a counterspell! Game, I love you. You took it easy on me for once, and that never happens. This does draw you 14 cards, by the way. If they try and play their thing, they just straight up get it countered, because I have a thing to counter it. They have every color of mana, but all they have is a Field of Ruin over there, so... I'm basically at the point now where I'm just kind of slamming counter magic. I did use this. This is now completely unavailable. I feel like these would be much better if it was like half cost draw a card. I cannot play Jenny G as much as I would like to. And it makes me sad. We will play multiple choice. They do get to replay their Oracle of the Alpha, but it is now just flooding their deck with extra stuff. Or we could just bounce our own Baral. Wouldn't be terrible. Boy, this could get out our opponent's counterspell. Okay, that's permanence you control. Also, I can just, like, decline that trigger. Yeah, we'll play this for more mana ramp. Oh no, did I leave myself open to counter magic? Oh, no, it's Field of Ruin. I was gonna say, they don't have a blue anymore, though, right? Because they tapped their Zagath Triumph for that. We still have Dissipate, and then we will be able to Seagate Restoration, which will double our draws or something crazy like that. We now have a 4/4, so we are now on the advantage in terms of the race. Alright, triggers. I kind of want to slam Jenny G, but I know the better play is to slam Seagate, because now I don't have a maximum hand size, which will matter when Midnight Clock flips. Settle the wreckage. How about I just give you a bird instead? We will decline... No, we don't. We don't decline that. We can get whatever the fuck we want right now. Yeah, we pass now. To be fair, even if they do get to land it, we will get to River's Rebuke it before it matters. Oh, wait, no! Our Midnight Clock trigger. Time Walk, take an extra turn. But, like, okay. What if I just, like, counterspell that opponent? Have you considered that? I don't know if they considered that. We will draw some cards. Unfortunate that we did not get anything super giga good. They will be able to replay their thing. This is all just... Actually, I get to go ahead and do it now, don't I? I don't have a choice because it's their upkeep. So I could hit another... I could hit any number of other really good cards, like my Negate here. Do you think I got it, opponent? They think I didn't have it. I just drew 14 cards! What did you think was gonna happen? Yeah, go ahead and take that action. Oh yeah, lands can go. Alright, so after this is going to be a Play Fairy Vandal, then multiple choice, then hold up bunches of counter magic. Or I could just like main phase a thing. Could just play Jace. Could play Teferi.
The entire multiverse is at stake. Nobody knows the past better than me.
Now I can... No, I shouldn't brainstorm. I should just hold up Sinister Sabotage. Just in case. Aye. That's a lot of draw triggers. Then we can like brainstorm and go put some stuff back or something. That'd be pretty sick. Fairy gets to live. We get to keep swinging in for 1 billion damage. My opponent is on the way out. They just don't know it yet. What do I have down there? Just negate and Sinister Sabotage? That's okay. We will kill this thing. We will go ahead and brainstorm here. Draw a ton of cards. Put back land, Mind Splice, I guess. Doesn't really matter. We just want the triggers. Because I believe that'll give me lethal now. I don't know why they're saying your go. I'm going to assume that that was a misclick. Because it's not my fault you decided to keep playing that out. You could have conceded whenever you thought the game was over. But you did say good game anyways, and it was a good game. GG's. I didn't even get to hit record. Control meet control, but we get to be on the play, so we can try it. Let's give this an honest-to-God shot. With Urtai Scorn, I'm not sweating things. I really think this is a slam Baral on 2 here. Do they have the wash away? They seriously have the wash away. That is incredibly annoying. That's a card that I really feel like doesn't belong in this format. It really is a card I feel like just doesn't belong in this format. It's,
I know 88 ways. I have just the trick for this.
Let's grab this. I feel like Wash Away is just way too good. It just does way too much. One of those cards. And that's specifically because of the 1v1 nature. I feel like in 4-person Commander, Wash Away being like a, yeah, I can sometimes make this work out in my favor, is a little less impactful.
Hone your prowess.
Commit to Memory is pretty good here. I'm assuming they really want to get rid of the Narset so they can draw cards, but even if they do put that on my Narset, I can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. How about you're cancelled? Thank you, come again. Let's just slam Baral here and see what happens. Fun fact, commit works even with stuff that's like attached to something. So commit is just a wonderful choice in general. Gee, I wonder if they're trying to hold up some counter magic of some sort over there. Oh, okay. So my Baral is now just a land. I'm kind of okay with that. Considering I can just, you know, commit that on out of here. Do you want to counterspell the commit? We can work with that. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Just want to go ahead and scry 1, draw 1. One's going to cycle a counterspell. Getting the wash away is really nice, even if we cannot immediately deal with Teferi over there. I find it interesting that this doesn't give you the option of putting it back into the command zone. A very strange decision, in my opinion. We have no real reason to worry about much of anything right now. I think we drop... Doesn't really matter what we drop. We're working towards just playing memory, which allows us to recycle our entire deck. My opponent is really worried about the fact that I have a Narset. Ah, Leyline. Okay. I was gonna, do that so that I could have Artise Scorn available if they tried to play something else. Make sure I tap Baral himself for this mana. And vibe. They're really scared of me being able to play memory, get a full hand, and they got nothing. Which is fair. Pretty scary, everything. Lauren of the Third Path. No. I can't memory yet, can I? Why can't I memory yet? Oh, is it Grafdigger's Cage? It's Grafdigger's Cage, okay. Well, let's just rebuke the world! All your stuff goes back to your hand, friend. Alright, that bodes well for me. Decline, no reason. They can replay the Grafdigger's Cage immediately, but not really concerned. Oh, okay. Go ahead and play the land. Go ahead and play the memory. They get one card, we get a full grip. My 1/1 will bonk them in the nose. Not the greatest redraw here, but things have gone worse for me before. They can't use Teferi's plus ability for much of anything. They don't draw cards, the best that you get to do is untap extra lands. They can maybe, like, put my Narset at the bottom, but...
Let's skip to the good part.
Narset, buddy. Go ahead and tap that and that. Foretell. We will just keep Teferi down.
Well, that didn't pan out.
Guardian Idol. Yeah, we can defabricate that. Why do we want to do that? It puts our Narset under pressure. We do not want them drawing cards at all. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. We're at the point where we kind of want to start using Mishra's Foundry on them.
You know what?
Get this Teferi down ASAP. They do get to untap more lands, but I think the best they might have is a Settle the Wreckage over there. May as well. Careful tap.
Stop that now.
No! I will not stop that. Triple counterspell in hand. Even with Baral being a 1/1 little toady boy, I'm still feeling pretty confident and comfortable. No! You don't think I have another counterspell? I don't want to mill, so I'm just going to take care of the actual spell. My opponent really wants to draw their cards. Reasons why you protect your Narset with your life. GG's Teferi. And that's Brawl. The reason we're only getting 5 games is because that's all my mental capacity could stand. Jokes aside, I'll probably include them. I got a few scoops before I could even start recording some games, or like I started recording the Insta-Scooped, or it would take a minute and a half for me to get a match, and I would be stuck into Golos or Kinnan, and I would maul 3 times and not hit a counterspell. Games like that, where it's just like, either it was over before it started because your opponent left, or over before it started because you couldn't play into what they had. You got to see the good side of Brawl. There is always the downside. He does have the major downside of you do basically need to just flood your deck out with counterspells. And if you're not, you're probably not going to win because that is what you need to do to win. On average, your best game plan is to try and get Baral out ASAP if you're on the play to force your opponent to be wasting mana and not building something up to get rid of him. Or if you're on the draw, wait till like turn 4 or 5 to hold up a counterspell or 2 to protect him when he lands on the battlefield. Or maybe find a way to land him and a pair of Swiftfoot boots to keep him safe. Either way, it's a super fun commander, honestly, and I do understand why he's placed so highly in the queue. In a 1v1 matchup, it's brutal to have someone who has reduced costs on everything, who also gets free cycling with his counterspelling. Great fun in my opinion, though, as long as you can deal with the harder decks you're going to go up against. I feel like he's much more fun in a 4-player format, though. most likely, just because of the way that everyone can play around the idea, and you can kind of not have to be the cop as much because everyone else at the table will be like, we need to get rid of this threat, and it's not always on you to counterspell it. But that's it for the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I hope to catch you in the next one.